Now it's time to see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here, I'm the man. Woo!
Welcome to the Best of Tailgate Talk, where we go back into the archives and hear some of our special guests you may have missed the first time around. We'll be back with the Best of Tailgate Talk after this. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
The world is changing.
Changes. The Tailgate Talk app has changed. It's got a new name and a new look. It's now known as PAS Plus, and it's your home for Applebee's Tailgate Talk, along with James Clement Sports and Calhoun Basketball.
Change, never heard, huh?
Look for the download links at PASnetwork.net or TailgateTalk.net. PAS Plus, Play Action Sports, plus a little extra. PAS Plus from Play Action Sports. The Best of Tailgate Talk is back for another week, and we've got some more fun guests to bring you. We start with the second of 2 visits we had with former Auburn offensive coordinator Al Borges back in November, whose book Deny of the Tiger had just come out. Following that, we go back about 4 years to a talk with former Tennessee defensive end Billy Ratliff. After that, we couldn't leave out Alabama, so we jump ahead to last summer for an interview we had with John Talty of Alabama Media Group about his book, The Leadership Secrets of Nick Saban. We take a leap back to 2019 and hear a conversation with former Stanford and WNBA player Carolyn Moos before wrapping things up with another 2-time guest, Marty Appel, author of Pinstripes by the Tail. Don't go away. The Best of Tailgate Talk will be right back. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Temperatures are not the only thing starting to sizzle. Fiber fast internet from Ardmore Telephone Company is fire. Switch or upgrade to a gig for only $89.90 a month. Stream summer blockbusters. Use your Wi-Fi to monitor your smart grill. Cool off with connected smart home devices. And so much more. Call 800-830-9946 to get gig connected today. That's 800-830-9946. Introductory prices for new fiber customers only.
With all the technology around us today, it's hard to keep up. Goldsmith Technical Services specializes in residential and commercial computer and electronics repair, automation, IT services, and home theater systems and audiovisual services. Goldsmith Technical Services. Call or text 256-203-4226. Visit them on Facebook or online at goldsmithtechnical.com. Let them tailor a package that meets your needs. Goldsmith Technical Services, 256-203-4226. While others have come and gone, the Lion's Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lion's Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lion's Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Alabama.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Tune in every Tuesday through Thursday this coming football season for the WKAC Coaches Shows. Join us as we get the scoop from Ardmore, Athens, Clements, East Limestone, Elkmont, James Clemens, Tanner, and West Limestone. The WKAC Coaches Shows coming in August on 1080. Welcome back to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Our special guest today is none other than former Auburn OC quarterbacks coach, Coach Al Borges. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Now, Coach, before we move on, where are you living right now these days?
I live in Saline, Michigan, just outside of Ann Arbor.
Oh, so it'll be snowing here in about a week for y'all.
Oh, don't even mention that, man. Oh, it's about 70 degrees now. Nice. You guys are getting rained on. I feel much better than I bet you do.
Good for y'all. Well, Tom, jump in there, brother.
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, Coach, Deny of the Tigers, your new book. I was there that season. I was, along with the rest of them, one ticked-off Auburn fan. But at the end, when we just didn't get a chance. But I was really ticked off when, was it Oklahoma, whoever it was, got blown out by USC.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was hard to watch. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch. But, hey, everybody, follow Tomcat's example. I've got two books, one for me and one for my son for Christmas. And, yes, he already knows about it. So, Deny the Tiger. I'm sorry you couldn't put one of my favorite parts of that season was at the end of the Alabama game. I'm in Tuscaloosa. Mayo Sowell's coming down the line, and I say, Mayo, let me have your gloves for my son. So he pulls off his glove. My son was 13 or 14 at the time.
Right.
And he still has those gloves from Mayo.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, that's pretty cool now. I mean, you got to pin those up on the wall and put a little sign under 2004. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
The funny thing was there's a drunk older chick sitting next to me saying, "You need to give me one of them gloves." I'm like,
now, Mayo used to always grab the flag. You remember that? He used to always grab the flag. Did he have the flag when he was doing that? Because he used to grab the Auburn flag and yeah, I mean, there'd be a wrestling match for that thing every game when we won, but they usually won.
He's a big old boy.
Yeah.
Coach, we got two big
Tell
games.
Us about your...
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead. No, Jay. You go ahead, man. You there. I'm outside here.
Well,
that don't matter.
We got two big games today, Coach. How you see them playing out?
Oh, man, I don't know, but I got a feeling they're going to play for Cadillac now. I mean, you don't know. I mean, they have not performed very well this year. I went last week, and God, it was tough. Hard game to watch, but with, just the novelty of a real Auburn dude,
yeah,
coaching the team, and he looks, I looked at his staff, he put together some pretty solid dudes, and I think they're going to perform today. Now, it ain't going to be easy playing there, and they're going to fill the air with footballs, and so it's going to be exciting to watch. But I think if they can control the ball on them a little bit, which Cadillac will really emphasize, being a running back, you'll have them pounding them a little bit. They got a chance. The quarterback's going to have to perform, and they're going to have to get solid performance there. But for the most part, I think they got a shot.
Well, I'm just going to ask real quick. So, coming from the coaching standpoint, which obviously you're very successful at, can you kind of talk a little bit about I mean, Coach Williams, how tough is that to be in that spot? I mean, here you are taking over, no time to prepare, putting your staff together. Obviously, you've got to kind of continue to do what you've been doing. You don't have time to implement much of anything new. Other than, I agree with you. I think they're going to really use that ground game today and just pound tank and I think be successful with it. But I mean, how much? I can't imagine what a whirlwind that is.
Oh goodness, yeah, that's really so. When you gotta, it's chaotic when there's coaching change in the middle of the year, but he's got the right demeanor for it. I mean, if you're gonna pick somebody, he's a good guy to pick.
That's great.
And what they got to do, I think, I'm just as conjecture. I'm not telling you anything that I know of or any inside information, but I think what they got to do is implement the same system, but emphasize different parts of the system.
Yeah.
So maybe certain runs that he likes better, we emphasize more. You know what I mean? But try and reinvent the wheel at this point systematically is just not very practical. So, just tap things that you really like within the system, continue to do things that you've done well, and take that approach, and I think that will give them the best chance.
Now, Coach, I was going to ask you this. How hard is it? I know for instance, with this whole coaching whirlwind about who Auburn should hire, should they go with Lane Kiffin, should they go with Dan Lanning? Your assistant, and you hearing all this stuff, how hard is it on you? I know you got a job to focus on the next game, but you're hearing all this in the background. Your coach may be leaving, going somewhere else. How hard is it on you to cope with this?
Well, you just got to block out the noise and keep your eye on the target. And that isn't easy because you're getting all kinds of distracting questions. As you guys know, you probably heard them, right? Hell, you guys probably asked them.
I was going to say, we've asked them, yeah.
But you just got to block all the noise out and keep your eye on the target, I mean, if Cadillac wants a shot at the job, he's got to worry about the team. He can't worry about all the other stuff because there's so many other things that people want to bring into it, all the gossip, all the coaches' names and everything. But the hell with that. Let all that stay out there, and you just stay focused on what you got to do each week, and that's your best shot to succeed. Because as soon as that other stuff becomes a factor, you're not going to be doing what the most important thing is to do,
Yeah.
Coach, I remember when you were hired out there at Auburn. You come in, you've got a stellar cast of linemen, quarterback, and you coach Cadillac. I mean, you know what you had down there. What was your offensive philosophy when you went in? I mean, I think this was the day before the no huddle spread offense.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were just starting to do that stuff, But my philosophy was simple: is use the weapons you got. Get Ronnie and Cadillac on the field at the same time, gain confidence with Jason Campbell, and use a bunch of really talented receivers that really hadn't been featured much to that point. So when and I talk about this in the book, is when we kind of dissect the offensive talent, we were going to gear all our schemes to the skill set of the guys we had. Well, we were lucky. We had a lot of guys with a lot of skill set. So with very good skill set, I said. So that was it. We aimed at what we felt were the weapons and exploit the weapons, but first and foremost, get Ronnie Brown on the field more and get Jason Campbell confident.
Now, were you the coordinator that Iron Bowl where Ronnie and Cadillac were hurt, and this little bit of white boy? No, you weren't there that day.
No,
okay.
that was. I didn't come till 2004. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
What was his name?
That was a heck of a.
What was his name?
Trey
Smith.
Trey Smith. Yes,
he was a bad boy. Smith. He sure was.
Yeah.
Coach, I wanted to ask you this, just from an interesting standpoint for myself. So, coaching in ACC and other conferences like you have, and then being at San Jose State in the Mountain West, you've seen a lot of football, a lot of athletes. Can you comment on, and because, me being an Alabama fan and an SEC fan, obviously I think the ACC is the toughest conference, from top to bottom, year in, year out. But obviously if you're a Division I athlete, you're a really good athlete regardless of what school you're at. But, is there, say, a big comparison between not just the depth and talent, but overall whatever between like a Mountain West and a SEC?
Oh, yeah, the disparities.
It's huge, right?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's the speed factor, I think, is number one. The speed factor in the South is beyond other conferences. And I will attest to that, but that's not to belittle any other conference. I coach in the Big Ten and Pac-12, and there are some awful fast dudes in those conferences too. But I think the overall speed, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, is superior to the rest of the conference, and I think that's what's made the difference over the years with regard to them winning national championships and always have a team in the top, 5.
Yeah.
Coach, what was your favorite game of that 2004 season?
Georgia. I get asked that question every time I get on the radio, but that's an easy one because that was for kind of all the marbles. They'd only lost one game, and we hadn't lost any. And if we lose that game with all that was on the line, we were going to be canceled from any chance of playing for the national championship. But we played great. We played great in a very high pressure setting. And the game was over. I know the greatest self-satisfaction game of the year.
So
that's good. We don't like Georgia.
Coach. Well, the main reason we got you on is to talk about this new book, which I'll add makes a great gift.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
And before you get into the subject of the book, where did you get the title? I love the title. Instead of "I the Tiger," we got "Deny the Tiger," and you need to get a song with that.
I just thought of it, and here's what's funny, you guys, you'll laugh. I thought of the title early on, and I completely forgot it because I didn't write it down.
Oh, no. That sounds like something I do, Coach. That's exactly what I do.
I started writing the book, and I'm going, doggone it, I had a perfect name for the book. And I forgot it.
Oh, Lordy.
So I'm driving down Michigan Avenue one day, and it came back to me. I go, oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Good for you.
So, yeah, but I just, it was kind of a cool little play on words.
Yeah.
And I looked up some stuff, what would be a good way to describe this, and that's what I came up with.
So now going to the day. Don't give the thing away because you want folks to buy it, but just just kind of the outskirts of the meat and the bones of the book.
Well, what it's about the team more than anything, and what I call the majestic synergy that went into the football team. But it deals with my transition to the South as a West Coast guy, and dealing with that culture, which for me was completely different because I had not coached Southern kids. I'd coached Midwest kids and West Coast kids, Pacific Northwest kids. But I heard Southern kids a little different. They want to be coached like anybody else. They're not different that way. They want to give you a chance to make better and all that stuff. But it's a different culture. And when you're coming in, a guy, from Indiana. They're kind of looking at you like you got 10 heads. You're wearing Hawaiian shirts. You don't speak with a southern draw. I called it my cousin Vinny moment. I was like Vinny Gambini. I didn't eat right, didn't talk right, and I cussed too much. So to make all those adjustments. And then, I talk about that quite a bit, and some interesting stories that go with that. And then as we get about halfway through the book, I start talking about each game. So we went into every game, how we planned it, what our mentality was going into the game. Then the game itself, describing, some of the major parts of the game, and then the aftermath of the game and the prep for the next one. So, a lot of reflection, a lot of memories. But when I went back over all the DVDs, it really triggered a lot of stuff. So, I could almost write a whole new book just doing the DVDs, because I had every single game on the DVD, and it just helped me remember, So.
Did you have to go back to Auburn to get those DVDs, or did you keep them?
No, I had kept them.
That's even better.
Yeah. So.
Where it would be the best place to get it? I mean, you've been at Auburn signing autographs, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Matter of fact, we sold out.
Good for you.
No, I have no doubt. Good for you.
Okay. Yeah, they had. The best place to get it is Barnes and Noble or Amazon. Those two places, or Kindle books. You can get it in ebook too. But that's probably. It's easy to get. It's selling pretty well. I went down to the book signing, and the book sold out, and it's a really, really enthusiastic group. So, but that's the best way to go about getting the book.
Okay. You may have to make a trip back here down south and just do like a little quick mall tour throughout the state. Hit Mobile, maybe the Birmingham, Montgomery area, whatever. Then North Alabama and Huntsville.
Up here at Applebee's now.
There we go.
Exactly.
I'll do it. No problem.
I'll have 2 copies for you, buddy.
Now, are you do you have a website or anything where somebody can go online and actually get an autographed copy, or only you doing them at signings?
Well, what you do is I left it out on Facebook, and or I've just sent it around to several different outlets. Is the way to get an autographed copy if you don't see me in person is to just send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll send it right back to you. I've already had several people do that.
That's great, Coach.
It's not a problem. I'll take care of that. Yeah.
That's very nice of you to do.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, Coach, what do you think about these 2 games today, Tennessee and Georgia, and Alabama and LSU?
Well, I like Georgia better than I like Tennessee, because I think they play better defense. Tennessee's got a national championship offense. I'm not sure they got a national championship defense. Yeah. Georgia is closer to that. Although I don't think they're as imposing as they were a season ago, they're still pretty damn good. Yeah. So if I had to pick one, I would pick Georgia. Where's that game played, guys?
It's in Athens.
Yeah.
Between the hedges.
Yeah, well, all the more. Yeah, all the more. Between the hedges ain't easy. Trust me, I've been there, done that. So, yeah.
And they're fired up.
So I would they'll be fired up. And, but Tennessee has been, that quarterback's real now. He's a good player.
Yeah, he is.
But I mean, I think.
Let me ask you this real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but so what from the standpoint of, Tennessee has not been here and done that in several years. So now you're coming in ranked number 1 in the polls, playing, number whatever Georgia is, 2, 3.
3.
What? Can you explain a little bit about the pressure on the kids? Coaches is one thing. It's grown man, 18, 19, 20-year-old young men. The pressure and being on the road in a hostile environment. How? I mean, I don't know. Do they feel it? Obviously, or do you?
Oh, sure they do. Yeah, they're young kids. Yeah, believe me, they read everything. They watch everything on television, and they look at the internet. They feel it. But as coaches. And this is a struggle, guys. I just want you to understand this. Is you're always trying to maintain the focus on the target. You know what I mean? I talked about this a little earlier. It's just keep the focus on the target and try to block out the noise. Because when you reach this point in the season and you're still in the top 4 or 5 teams, there's a lot of noise. Yeah. There's a lot of noise. I mean, this happened to us in 2004 after the Tennessee game. Because until then, our expectations were not real high because of what had happened the season before. But once you get to this point in the season, and you're still there, there's a lot of noise. So the coaches are constantly trying to be on guard with regard to how they communicate with the players. Hoping the players stay on guard with all the stuff's going on outside, because the distractions are just ongoing.
We'll be back with more of our Tailgate Talk conversation after this.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Spick and Span Power Washing. Patios, sidewalks, driveways, houses, roofs, gutters, and windows. Commercial or residential. Serving Athens, Fayetteville, Harvest, Huntsville, Grant, and Coleman. Visit their Facebook page and see what they can do for you. Get your free estimate. Call 256-795-0505. Spick and Span Power Washing.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
School may be out, but you can still enter your nominations for the Applebee's Athlete of the Week over the summer for the upcoming school year. Just go to tailgatetalk.net and fill out the form. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Enter your nominations today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Tailgate Talk, and 1080 WKAC. We're back now with more of our conversation on the best of Tailgate Talk.
Now, Coach, are you in favor of the 12-team playoff?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you feel 12 teams are entitled, I see no problem with it. But to put 12 in there just to make more money, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think that's why they're doing it myself, man.
Yeah, that may very well be. But, when I was in Division II and 1AA, we played 16-team formats. They were fun. A lot of games, oh boy, beat the players up. I played 15 games twice. So I know what that's like. But as long as you can justify the 12 that are playing, go for it.
Yeah. I just don't want it to increase, like the basketball did, 32, 64. Let's do 120.
Yeah,
why not?
Turn into January.
Yeah, no question.
And then because they were talking about, the four teams get the first four get first round buys, and then they play one home game and the rest of it's neutral site and all that stuff. So,
well, Tom, take us out of the interview, buddy. If you got more questions,
take us to the break.
Wrap
Tom.
us up, brother.
You got it, Coach Borges, man. Once again, it's been an honor. I watched you when you were there at Auburn, and I have purchased the book. I want to recommend everybody else go to Amazon, purchase the book, Deny of the Tiger by Coach Al Borges. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I may have to go back and watch some highlights to other football games. Coach, thanks again for joining us, man. And I'm going to send you a Facebook message. If nothing else, I'll get you to send me a sheet of paper that you've autographed, and we'll just stick it in as an extra leaf inside the book.
And I encourage people when they read the book to put a review out on Amazon. It drives sales better.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
If once you've read it, it doesn't have to be a long review, but just something just to acknowledge the fact that you did read it and rate it. So,
Coach, we appreciate it.
We'll do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time,
man.
It
was great.
Thanks,
have
guys.
a good one. All right, man. Bye-bye. We'll see you.
That's Coach Al Borges talking to us there on the Yellowhammer Roofing Special Guest Hotline. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKAC.
You can help Limestone County student-athletes by donating to the Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship. Send it in care of Garth Garris, 13833 Pinnacle Drive, Athens, Alabama, 35613, or make it in person at First State Bank of the South at 1319 Highway 72 East in Athens. We'll be back with Tailgate Talk after this.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Customers agree. There's just something about Scooter's Coffee. Since 1998, their mission has been to keep folks happy by helping them scoot in and scoot out quickly while roasting their coffee from the top 10% of specialty beans in the world. Choose from hot drinks like their Caramelicious and Honey Vanilla Latte to cold offerings like the Strawberry Acai Quencher and Iced Mocha. They've also got smoothies, teas, and blenders. You'll agree, too. There's just something about Scooter's Coffee. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooter's Coffee, 547 Highway 72 West in Athens at Town Center. Scooter's Coffee.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Need custom screen printing or other promotional products? Got You Covered Screen Printing and More in Athens is, well, got you covered. Screen printing, promotional items, stickers, graphic design, vinyl for signs and garments, and other customized products. They also offer local pickup and delivery services, rush orders, volume discounts, and can customize any project to meet your needs. Got You Covered guarantees to get the job done and will work hard to make sure you're completely satisfied. Call today, 444-4500, or stop by and see them at 800 Highway 72 West, Suite K in Athens. Got You Covered Screen Printing and More. Applebee's Tailgate Talk wants to recognize our local athletes, and you can help. Go to tailgatetalk.net throughout the school year to vote for the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. The winner will receive a gift card from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and a t-shirt from Got You Covered Screen Printing and More. Submit your own nominations for future polls, too. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Cast your vote today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Tailgate Talk.
This is Tyree Washington, 400-meter world champion in track and field, former NFL player, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're live here in Applebee's and here with Todd DeBod Tomlin alongside our producer extraordinary Tim Lambert. I'm Jay Vassar, and on the phone we have the James Clemens Jets boys basketball coach, Coach Frankie Sullivan. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good, sir. How you doing this morning?
We're doing fine, Well, you got your football players back, ready to practice some basketball and ready to get the season started, right?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, with a lot of our guys, like the flu has hit them, or either they're yeah. So like, I think out of my football guys, 7 on each team, or from each team has had the flu or out last week. So, you know, I think it's a good chance for them to rest also, but you don't want to take it that way. So we'll be okay.
Well, bless your heart. So, you know, you don't get the opportunity very often to get the football players in early because of, you know, they usually make the playoffs and you get the opportunity and they're sick. Man, that just stinks to start off the season, but hopefully they'll be getting well soon and able to get their legs under them where you can get some work done.
Yeah, I think everything happened for a reason. For those guys, a lot of them definitely needed a break because they went right from basketball last year into football training. So it's a rest for them. So, like I said before, I'm not too concerned with getting out of the season, how we finish. But.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So now y'all haven't opened up the season yet, correct?
No, sir. We open up Tuesday at Spartan.
Oh, man, coming out of the gate hard. Man, who did that scheduling, Coach?
Right. The first 6 games come through rough. We start off with Sparkman at Sparkman, Huffman at Huffman, Grissom at home, apartment at home, state park.
Wow. Well, good for you. Listen, that's how you learn, and that's how you get better, by playing, great teams. So you're going to find out what you got quick, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir. I think, like I said, I learned from the past couple of years that you learn early, take your bump bruises, so I think it's good for our guys.
Well, good deal. Now, has there been any area changes? Have y'all kept the same areas as last year?
We had the same areas last year, Austin, Florence, and Bob Jones.
Okay. So, when were you at Auburn?
I was there 15 till 18, so I moved to 18.
Okay, I knew it couldn't have been that long.
Was Coach Lebo your coach?
Coach Lebo was my Coach Lebo and Coach Barbie.
Okay, a friend of ours was the manager, Stephen Ball. You remember him?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because we used to hear Coach Lebo stories from him because my best friend used to be the football coach at Ardmore, and Stephen was on our staff, and we'd always talk about those days in basketball. And I was asking Todd when you were at Auburn, and I think he said that Coach Lebo was your coach, so we just brought that up. So,
Coach Lebo was my coach my first 2 years there.
Yep, and it seemed like from past conversations we've had, whether it be on or off the air, you really liked Coach Lebo. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't mean like just from the coaching standpoint, but you've actually taken things that maybe y'all did while you were there and implemented some of it into what you do now? Or am I just off base?
Coach Lebo,
yes.
He did a lot of up and down. I like the way we play defense in the pack line. There's some different things and mantras in practice and how we approach the game. I love the way he did it. He brought the North Carolina field to Auburn.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so who are some of your, I don't want to say big names, go-to guys?
Returning starters.
Returning starters. Returning starters. That's a good one.
The only returning starter I have, two returning starters are Pierce Roper and Keenan Walker. But when it comes to guys that played last year, I still have 7 guys that played last year for us. Came off the bench. I think they'll be great guys. They matured. Got bigger, faster, stronger in the weight room. Also, they understand the mission that we're on this year. So I think practice has been very competitive. I think it's very fun for us. Definitely gotten a long way. I still got about 10 guys I can play right now. So it's still pretty good.
Okay, so depth-wise, are you looking pretty good? How many kids or how many boys are you carrying on the team?
I got 14 this year.
Okay. Not good.
So yes, a little depth. Early in the season, I press a lot and I play a lot of guys, regardless of how the play is, just to see what's going on. I think a lot of teams not in shape early in the season, so I think we'll do pretty good. Okay. So I'm excited about the team and the guys and how they approach the game.
And that was going to be my next question. With what you've got returning, you plan on just continuing to run the same system that you've ran in the past, or are you having to mix it up a little bit depending on, with what the kids' capabilities are?
I told you I'm old school in a lot of ways. Yeah. I think if it's broke, don't fix it. So it's been working for us and how we're doing at JC. I think anybody can play our style. It's just adapting to it and knowing when to pull back from it. So I think that's something we learned from last year, when to pull it back a little bit from the press situation.
Love it.
Now, is the shot clock coming in this year, or is it next year? Is that what
this year did not pass because of a lot of people that didn't think it was necessary to have in high school. But hopefully we can get it passed for next year to bring it in, because I think it's essential for our guys who trying, like I said last year, to play college ball, to put them in the atmosphere of how to play. And I think it'll also speed the game up for Alabama.
Absolutely, yeah. And
we definitely need it.
And for me, Coach, I've seen teams play freeze ball and it come back to bite them in the rear end at the end. So, I'm in favor of a clock as well.
Yeah, people understand, to play the freeze ball back in the day, you had good kids that was super fundamental and handling the basketball. One guy from around this area, Cody Fry, probably the best to ever do it in this area with Jack Dawes. But that game is dying out because of kids want to play. They want to show their talent. The college coaches want to see what they can do, because on no other level are you going to go and they're going to freeze the basketball for 8 minutes.
No.
It just and I think it's hurting our kids a lot. Yeah. That's why we're right now we're behind the curve when it comes to kids staying in the state, keeping our best players in the state, and not for the IMG or going to Atlanta, going to Nashville, because those guys have shot clock. So I think if we want to compete and continue to grow as a basketball community in the state, we have to adopt the shot clock in all games.
Yeah. Well, we did Calhoun and Montlow State the other night, and that was the first game that I've had to do that they had a shot clock. And there had a few stoppages along the way because they were trying to reset it manually, and so they wouldn't get it started soon enough, and the ref would have to stop the game and say, okay, let's reset the 30-second clock. And then we found out that they were going to have to get special, goals installed. I think the next day that would reset automatically. So that's another, I guess, expense.
That'd be a hard job to do that manually all night long, man. Wow.
Yeah. I think people like a lot of the guys made excuses. And like I said before, I've been on the radio show a couple of times. I don't believe in excuses. I believe in results because there's a way to do everything.
That's right.
There's plenty of shot clocks around where you can just put them in the corner for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hit them with the clock. Tennessee Valley Prep plays at James Flemings. The Wardogs plays at James Flemings. Hurricane played last year, and they ran the shot clock from the corners, and it worked perfectly. You can just reset it with the remote. So the excuse that we can't get the funding to do it is kind of out the window because they did, and it was like $2,500. You can go in the neighborhood and raise $2,500 or pay for it out of the player.
A few car washes, bake sales, and you're good to go. That's right.
A golf tournament.
I think the excuses to be eliminated when it comes to that because I like the shot clock. I'm going to give a little bit of a secret. My kids, we're going to start practicing with it next week. So
good for you.
And I'm going to practice with just get my guys to understand how to play the game. And I'm trying to prepare them for something bigger than just high school basketball.
And it's just for the betterment of the game, period.
Yes, sir.
Because like you said, any level moving forward, you're going to have that shot clock, and you're going to have to know how to play to that shot clock. You're only hindering the athletes by not allowing it. I mean, I don't know. It's just like daylight saving time. It's coming. Just go ahead and vote it through, dude. Everybody knows we're going to do it. Do it.
Right.
Well, now, what will it be? 30 seconds?
I think 30 seconds would be good for us. I think for me personally, I'm more on the side of 32, 35 because like when you first adapt to it, the kids going trying to get used to it, and the coaches also. But 30 would be perfect for me. Like I said, I like it because I can speed people up, and also you can if you're trying to coach the proper way, you can also play possessions to your favor.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, it changes from coaching aspect to the offense. I mean, which the offense is even even what you run, it's kind of already geared to the shot clock anyway. I mean, when I've seen y'all play, I mean, I don't think it'd be like some big transition just by having that clock out there ticking away. So, and that's cool that y'all are going ahead and start practicing with that.
Yeah, like I think from our aspect of it, my situation, how I like to press and play defense, the scheme doesn't really work in high school because you're pressing and then you get down and you're playing great defense and the referee call 3-4 fouls in the half court, and now your kids like getting discouraged because like ain't no shot clock reset and they let them hold the ball for 4 or 5 minutes. I don't care what you're doing. It's hard to do anything in 4 or 5 minutes.
Quick story. We got to go, but quick story. And I don't know what year it was, 1970, whatever. Bobby Lee Hurt playing at Butler. I think they were playing Huntsville or maybe Grissom. Went over there to watch them play. Me and Jim standing room only right. Everybody wanted to see Bobby Lee Hurt, and this was a big game. Both teams ranked. Final score was 9-8. Butler won. Grissom or whoever it was held the ball the whole game to keep it away from Bobby Lee. So nobody wanted to watch that mess. Everybody was so mad. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck this season. We'll be over there, I know for sure, doing some games and Play Action Sports. So good luck, and hope you get your kids back this week healthy and get you some wins on the board.
Thank you. I appreciate it, sir. You too.
That was Coach Frankie Sullivan joining us here on Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKC.
Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy.
Temperatures are not the only thing starting to sizzle. Fiber fast internet from Ardmore Telephone Company is fire. Switch or upgrade to a gig for only $89.90 a month. Stream summer blockbusters. Use your Wi-Fi to monitor your smart grill. Cool off with connected smart home devices. And so much more. Call 800-830-9946 to get gig connected today. That's 800-830-9946. Introductory prices for new fiber customers only.
P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at applebees.com and pick your meal up with Carside to Go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
We've got the man himself, the UT Knoxville Volunteers from 1998 season, recovered the fumble. I went back and watched the video. I remember the game very well, and Sterner was the quarterback, and you pretty much predicted that he was coming in the game. You don't take your helmet off offense. We're going to get you the ball back.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's just one of those situations, man. He refused to lose and not used to losing any other SEC teams besides Florida, and that was just a no at that time, man. We just didn't believe we should lose until Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, talking about being in the game, an article I read said you weren't even supposed to be in the game at that time.
Oh. Yeah, he'd come in as a reserve or something.
Well, basically, we had what was called like a rotation with our defensive line, and rotated ourselves in a sense, and I had just came out the series before, and my teammate Jeff Coleman was typically supposed to go in at the moment, but I think he was cramping up or something, and I just had to go in, and I was like, well, why not? Let's go. And so that's when I was like, psyched myself out, and Al Wilson over that short out at the same time. And of course, you had to go out there and give it all. If the Reverend Al Wilson is on you like that, it's almost like you came back without what he told you to go get. It's going to be trouble later.
Oh, man. And you guys were, what, a minute and 24 seconds away from losing the opportunity to play for the national championship pretty much.
Most definitely, man. I tell people to this day, I still can't believe Coach Houston Nutt was trying to do a naked bootleg to just have his quarterback scramble and roll out to the left and get the first down, or at least get whatever yards he can get.
Yeah.
And I still can't believe that, because I'm saying, if he just would just kneel the ball, still, with our offense having trouble against that defense all day, I would have just put it on my defense's shoulders. But he didn't. I guess he felt a little cocky at that moment and hoped that they got it. But thank the Lord, it didn't work out for him.
Yeah. And I guess thank the Lord you were there to scoop it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I saw the ball. Like I said, watched the video again just to refresh myself. But, you said the ball looked like it stayed on the ground for 5 or 6 seconds, when actually it was like it fell out and boom, you were the man right there in the spot.
Well, I mean, when I did, and I pushed the guy back, and I'm kind of just like not even thinking about the ball itself. I'm just hoping that we make a play to make the guy, do something, or whether he fumbles or he throw it away, and let's save some clock. But once I push the guy, man, I'm looking down and I see this ball on the ground, and I say it seemed like it was there for like 5, 6 seconds. It was like that Matrix moment where you're dodging those bullets and everything, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, man, that ball is there. Ain't most guys thinking in their head like most of the linebackers. They're thinking about picking the ball up and running for a touchdown. With me, I'm a big guy. I'm already looking for some oxygen. So I'm going to lay on this thing and crater it like an egg.
That was awesome. We knew Travis Henry could run the ball in for a touchdown.
Well, so listen, man, what was it like playing? Because back then, y'all were pretty much kind of like what Alabama is now. Y'all were just a machine, year in, year out.
Peyton and T coming in right after him.
How much fun was it? And not just fun, but was there any pressure? I would think there'd be some pressure. With the way the fans are, right? You're expected to win every game and expected to be playing for national championships. What was that like?
Yeah, that's true, man. I always tell it. I said, we kind of spoiled our fans throughout those years, and that's kind of like what's going on with Alabama. I mean, they get ready to come down off their horse too. So I know how
he had to get that shot in, didn't he?
Okay, you're right. I mean, it's coming. It's coming. I know that.
And I'm telling everybody this here. If you want to go ahead and get ready, get your mind right, go ahead and jump on this bandwagon with the Volunteers right now. I'm telling you, there's something to be reckoned with these next few years.
What's Billy doing these days?
Billy, man, I've been doing like the little podcast thing here with my show on Volunteer Roadshow. My website, volunteerroadshow.com.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Man, my partner, we do things here every other day, live show every Friday night, anywhere from 7 to 8 o'clock p.m., and we've just been playing with it and having fun with it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this about the Volunteer Roadshow website. You go to it, it's got a really cool T-shirt you're selling with a picture on the front and on the back, and I know you can get some autographed. And I see where it's going for childhood leukemia. Can you share what do you have an experience with that, or why that particular charity?
Well, what we do a lot of things as far as trying to help raise money for leukemia. My teammate here, my brother, my partner on the show, his son was diagnosed with leukemia.
Okay.
And he's been down at St. Jude's for a few years now, and St. Jude's, they've just done a tremendous job with those kids. And I mean, just seeing it with my own eyes and seeing what they do for those kids, and it changed my whole mind and perspective of what they take those donations and raising that money for, because there's so many different things that people don't understand what these parents are going through to get their kids better. You got one parent that has to be there all the time. The other parent is out working 2-3 jobs to try to make ends meet, and they need that extra cash. It's trying to help some of that burden, because everybody shouldn't have to work their tails off like that. And there's so many people out there that can help a needy family every now and then. And that's something that I've always thought about. The less fortunate, sometimes they just need just a little hand to get by.
Yeah, well, that's a wonderful gesture, and it couldn't go to anything better, that's for sure.
Yes. You know, and that's, you know, and we always try to do that. I mean, I've been trying to create my own foundation to help out some things, and I haven't started it yet because I wanted to get this Sam Strong thing going on to help some families out with the St. June's project. And there's other things I want to do to help out with people. And, you know, I think everybody in the world should at least lead a hand in hand in some type of way, in some type of foundation. There's someone out there that needs your help, whether it's a 25 cent, 50 cents, anything helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of T-shirts, how about that T-shirt that Tennessee came out that the Tennessee put out there? The kids
getting bullied.
Yeah.
Man, you know that when I saw that, man, and it wowed me, man, because she reached out to me first on Messenger. I guess she had been watching our show, and I, you know, knowing that I was making my shirt that had my the fumble and stumble and thing. And I'm like, well, of course, you can get one. I'm there. I'll send it as soon as I can. And when she got back to me, she's like, Billy, I appreciate everything that you offer. She said, we got so many offers and donations that we can't even keep up with it. You know, they got like almost 3,000 shirts within 2-3 days. And, you know, she didn't have a place to put all these things.
Yeah.
So it was a great gesture, man. And that's
Absolutely,
what I tell everybody I love about the volunteers, man. When there's something I'll say that they're passionate about, they're willing to help. And that's the real, true meaning of a volunteer.
Yeah, it is. And I'd seen the story before, you know, it went viral, and of course the T-shirts and everything exploded. And then last week, you know, to have the T-shirt emblem, like, you know, signs in the stands, and then the people wearing the shirts and stuff. It's just, yeah, I was blown away. And I'm sure that family was, you know, will never be able to thank, you know, UT enough to kind of push that thing forward. And you know, it's, on the other hand of it, I don't know who was doing the bullying, but boy, don't you know they're embarrassed right now.
Oh, yeah. Make you think bullying some child. Make you look
they won't bully again. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man.
Well, now, you know, our show focuses on pretty much the high school youth here in our area. And what advice would you have for kids? Because I know you had an injury that just, you know, pretty much derailed what your plans were.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you this here, like, it took me forever to answer that question for myself up until just a couple of months ago, and it's something, you know, my partner on the show told me, and listening to his drive is something that when he created this radio show that we're doing, this podcast, he said he had a dream, he had a vision. And when he said that, I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. And that was something that I was thinking, okay, this man is almost 50-some years old, and he's still talking about a dream. You know, I remember when I was a kid, my dream was to play football, make it to the NFL or whatever. Well, that didn't work. So when he brought that up to me, I said, you know what? I need to find something that I can be passionate about too. Let me start dreaming to it. And I started thinking about getting myself back healthy and try to get some of this weight off me and start helping people do the same thing. And that's been my passion so far. But with high school kids, the same thing. I just tell them, you know, don't stop dreaming. You know, keep hopes alive. You know, don't think because one door closes, there's not another door that you can open. Keep on driving. Don't stop until you get enough.
That's good advice for us old guys, too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Even for the kids.
I mean, we're right there around the same age, and all of us are. And you're right. Sometimes career paths or whatever change, and it can be devastating, and it can put you in a place of, you know, like, what am I going to do or how am I going to do it? And you're right, man. You can, even at 50 or older, you can still dream.
Still make a difference.
And go for it, you know? Absolutely. That's great. That's great advice.
All right. Well, Billy, man, this show has been fun talking to you, reliving some old dreams or some old
horse.
Old good stuff, man.
But listen, all kidding aside, y'all had tremendous teams. I had been to Knoxville more than once and seen y'all play back then, and I knew going up there that was a long drive, and I knew the drive coming home was going to be a lot longer. So thanks a lot for those memories there, Billy. But enjoyed watching you play, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, bud. Talk to you later, Billy. Come back to us.
I got to take care.
See you. Bye-bye. That was Billy Ratliff, 1998 volunteer. Great talking to them college football players, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing, let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
When you're looking for something special for your next event, why not bring in the most amazingly fine flavored shaved ice this side of the islands, Kona Ice of Decatur and Athens. Whether it's a school or major sporting event, a picnic, or festival, Kona Ice brings the fun and laughter. From their steel drum music to their signature flavor wave, where guests can flavor their own shaved ice. No event is too big or too small. Kona Ice makes fundraising easy too. Call Kona Ice today and tell them what you have in mind. 256-566-5298. Or look for them on your favorite social media platform. Kona Ice of Decatur in Athens, 256-566-5298. Welcome back to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
I know we have Mr. John Talty with the Alabama Media Group. He has a book out a new book called The Leadership Secrets of Nick Saban. Mr. Talty, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, absolutely, bud. It's our pleasure. To talk about what you do now with the Alabama Media Group, how long you've been working with them a little bit. Let our listeners get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I think I've been with the Alabama Media Group for about a little more than 8 years at this point. I've had a variety of different roles there at AL.com, Birmingham News, and so I've came in covering recruiting. Then I made a switch to covering Alabama, and now I oversee all of our sports coverage in addition to writing about the SEC and kind of issues around college football. So, I've enjoyed my time in Alabama and, excited to continue writing and leading our sports coverage.
Great. And so, we just mentioned that new book you have coming out. And so my name is Adam Dodson. I'm just curious about, the motivation to start this book, and what was the genuine inspiration to go down this path?
Yeah, I think it's something that I've always been interested in. It's an idea that I've had for a few years, and it's influenced based on doing what I do and interacting with people outside of sports. I think the question that I get the most is, it's like, what's Nick Saban like? What's the secret sauce to what he does? How is he able to have the success that he does? And so I always thought that there was a book there, and there have been other books written about him, but I was particularly interested in it from a leadership and business standpoint, looking at what has led to so much of the success that he's had, how he's been able to do it, most importantly, why does he do it, and the kind of transferable lessons and skills that people who are outside of sports, might get from a book like that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people in a lot of different professions look up to Nick Saban. They may not even care about football, but they see that he's successful with his product, and they want to replicate that.
Absolutely, and I think clearly the most famous part of that is the process, which has been written about a lot over the years, and I think that's been a source of fascination for a lot of different people. So that's a big part of it. But if you look at how Alabama football is at this point, I mean, it's a huge operation, and he manages hundreds of different people, both on the employee side and also hundreds on the football player side. That's a big organization, and so how he manages them on a daily basis, how he finds the right people to work in his organization, how he replaces people who leave, all these different things.
Oh, yeah.
I think have a lot of value outside of just football, and so I think this book appeals to a lot of different people. If you're an Alabama football fan, or if you're just a college football fan in general, there's a lot of inside information, a lot of behind the scenes, never before reported details that you're going to love. But I think even if you don't know that much about football, or don't care that much about football, I think you're going to be really interested in kind of getting that inside look at this guy who's been one of the most successful leaders in any industry over the last 100 years, really.
Absolutely. And, what I've always found fascinating about Nick Saban is when he got to Alabama, the first 6 or 7 years, he was portrayed as this, really like a jerk, basically, because, how passionate and how, angry he definitely gets sometimes. But I feel like over the past, 5 or 6 years, he's kind of been portrayed in a different light where, it is more about his leadership qualities. And, maybe he has mellowed out a little bit. I'm just curious at what your observation on that has been.
Yeah, I think there's a few different reasons for that. I think partly it's, as we all age a little bit, there's that natural mellowing a little bit.
Yeah.
I know one person I know who knows him well told me, he has softened a little bit, but he's not soft by any stretch. So even it's all by comparison. But I think there's also, and I write about this in the book, we've seen the way that kids, nowadays are. They're different than they were 20, 30 years ago, right?
Right.
And so I think it required him to have to evolve and adapt a bit in order to reach and recruit this current generation. And so he's really smart, I think, at realizing what motivates people, and whether that's a coach or a player. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. He knows certain people need different things. So I think he was smart enough to realize a kid in 2022 can't be coached the same way as a kid in 1992. And it just led to some of what we might think of the bellowing, or maybe showing a little bit of a softer, friendlier side of himself.
Yeah, and I think another example of, maybe him adapting to what may have been popular 20 years ago is him finally, biting the bullet and, adapting with the spread offense and, updating his offense.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I write about in the book is that, at the time when he talked publicly about that, people took it as kind of whining and complaining. When he brought up, I don't think this is necessarily good for football, and everybody thought, Nick Saban's just complaining because he can't stop it.
Right.
And really what it was, I think, was almost a warning to people. It's like, I don't think this is good for football, but if this is what you guys want to do, I'll do it better than any of you. And we've seen him since do that, starting with Lane Kiffin and all the offensive coordinators he's had since. And I've seen that same kind of mentality when it comes to the transfer portal and most recently NIL, where people think, again, it's Saban complaining. And what it really is like, I think this is bad for the sport of football, but if these are the rules that you guys want to play by, I'll play by your rules, and I'm going to crush all of you. And I think we're going to see that over the next year or two. We've already seen it with the transfer portal, which he's able to just kind of take whoever he wants.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. It seems like every 2 years or so, people look back at what he said and it's like, oh, my God, he was exactly right.
Absolutely. I think he's someone who's very sharp, and I think he thinks about the issues around college football very thoughtfully. I mean, I think when you hear him speak, he always gives a good answer, and it always comes from a place of real introspection and thought.
Yeah, and so, I'm sure you get that. That's your number one question you get all the time is how is he like? Like, what's he really like? What are some other frequent questions you've gotten since since you've put this book together?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to kind of know what's the secret sauce. What is it that powers Saban to do what he does? I think people want to know what's it like to play for him, what's it like to coach for him. All those different factors are things that, and let's be real here. We've seen some of that play out very publicly with the Saban and Jimbo feud that happened a few months ago. People I think have even renewed interest in all right, what's it like to actually work for this guy? And so, I get into all that stuff, pretty in depth in the book. And so the way that the book is kind of structured is each chapter is built around a different theme. And so there's some about recruiting, there's some about how he staffs, there's some about how he handles the loss. And so there's a bunch of different themes that people can look into and kind of, all right, what's Nick Saban like after a bad loss? All right, you flip to chapter 12, and that goes into how he's handled famous losses in his life and how he's been able to rebound from them. And so that's I think some of the stuff that people are going to be really into.
Yeah, no, that would definitely interest me because I was really curious at how Alabama would respond. I'm a graduate of Alabama. Backstory about me, and I was curious about how Alabama was going to respond after they got shellacked by Clemson and with Trevor Lawrence his freshman season, and obviously a lot has happened since then. But that's probably not the number one thing I will look for when I look at your book. Is I will look for, hopefully it's in there, that Bama Clemson loss.
It's how chapter 12 starts. It's all about how they handled that Clemson loss. So I got you covered. You're going to love it.
I'm glad to hear it.
And I think it was. I think there had to be without giving away all the book. After that loss, I think there had to be a tone setting. I think that they had lost their way a little bit that year in which they, were winning all of these games, but people inside the program knew something was off. And so, the following year, it didn't work out in part because of, Tua getting hurt. But that was a really good team in 2019.
No doubt.
I think, certainly could have won it all. They were playing in a different way. Tua goes down, changes things, but I think you saw that kind of momentum lead to 2020 in which they just dominated everybody and clearly were intent on sending a message to college football that we're back, we didn't go away.
Absolutely. It seems like that seems to happen every 2 or 3 years where they Saban kind of gives everyone a wake up call again, where it's like you said, it was almost like a tone setting that happens every now and then. Even if they win 10 games a year, there still needs to be a tone setting sometimes.
Well, at this point, it is national championship or bust at Alabama, right?
Yep.
You could. That team went to the national championship game. They were undefeated heading into it, and they lose, and they're viewed as failures. You guys got blown out to Clemson. How could this happen? And that's something that there's a lot of pressure involved in that. And that's something that I write about too. At this point, I think people think, all right, it's easy. They recruit the top guys. It's kind of like a machine that, doesn't really need anything besides a little oil. But think about the pressure that if you don't win a national championship every single year, you are viewed as a failure. And not just the pressure that goes on Nick Saban, but the pressure that 18, 19, 20-year-old kids feel by coming to Alabama. And that's something that's really hard to manage. And I don't think Saban gets enough credit for being able to keep those guys in the mix every single year, knowing the pressure that they're all under.
Right. And so, without revealing anything too much about the book, what is maybe? Can you give me an example of one of the leadership skills that Saban has that maybe you talk a little bit about in the book, maybe managing 18-year-olds, like you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch. Again, the whole book is about it. But one of the ones that I think is really important that I think can apply to anybody in any industry is the need for clear and concise communication when it comes to accountability. And so I think about, whether if you manage people in any regard, and somebody's not doing the right thing, you can either step in and fix it and explain to them in very clear terms, this is why what you're doing is wrong, this is what I need you to do. Or you can do nothing. You can complain about it. You can say, that guy's just not good enough. I hate that I have to hire him, whatever it might be. And I think Saban's really, really good at not worrying about being liked. I think it's something that's an innate thing that a lot of us might struggle with if we manage people is, if I have to tell this guy he's doing a really bad job, I'm probably going to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't like me or whatever it might be. That's actually a pretty tough thing to do for a lot of people. And Saban's really good at, in no uncertain terms, hey, you're not getting it done. You either need to get it done, you need to find another place to work.
No doubt.
That's so important, and I think plays such a huge role in that organization because everyone is working their butt off and they're all pulling in the same direction. And the reason they're able to do that is because he's very clear to every single person in that organization about what their job duties are and what he expects of them.
Absolutely. And so, just wrapping up here, talk to me about what is the one thing you want readers to take away from this book? Obviously, it's all about leadership skills, but what is the one thing you want them to finish the book and go, what is it? What do you want them to think?
Yeah, well, I think the important thing, and when you read this book, you'll see it. But we look at the way college football is. There are a lot of people that have hired Nick Saban's disciples to lead their college football programs, and some of them have had incredible success. Kirby Smart's a great example.
Yes.
Some of them haven't. And so I think the most important thing, and I think when people read this book, there's going to be a lot that they're really going to like. There's going to be things that think, man, I need to add this into my life. And that's the exact point of the book. But the important thing, I think, is to find what works for you. Nick Saban has been heavily influenced by multiple people in his life, including Bill Belichick.
Yep.
But Saban is not an exact Bill Belichick clone. He took some things that he liked from Belichick, he put them into his system, and he does them his way. And so I think when people read this book, there's going to be a lot that I think they'll want to and probably should add to their life. But being exactly like Nick Saban is probably not going to be the best path to success. There's one Nick Saban. And so I think it's like maybe you love this one thing he does and you add that to your life and it makes your life better. But doing things exactly the way he does it is probably not the best idea. So I think that's going to be the important thing for people. Put it into your life and your words and the way that you need to do things, and don't do it just purely this is exactly how he does it, so I need to do it that way.
Right. Well, I really appreciate that, all of that.
John, do you cover any time during when Coach Saban was at Miami? Maybe some of the leadership that was taken away from him as far as his decisions.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I wrote about in the book was that, I think when he got to Miami, I mean, he had always dreamed of being an NFL head coach. And I think once he got to Miami, he was almost immediately frustrated by how different things were. And one of the big parts of it, at Alabama and LSU and other places, it's a real meritocracy. It doesn't matter if you're a 5-star recruit. If you're not doing what he wants you to do, you're not going to play. Simple as that.
Right.
Whereas in the NFL, if you give a guy $20 million a year, he's playing.
Gotcha.
Regardless as to whether he's being a jerk or not, that guy's going to have to play.
Right.
And that's a decision, controlled by the owner and people above you. And I think Saban felt frustrated by that. And I know he also felt frustrated by the fact that if you're the number one team in the NFL, you get the worst draft pick, right?
Yep.
Whereas if you're the number one team in college football, you can recruit anybody you want and you're going to get better players. So I think he felt handcuffed by the fact that he couldn't get the best players by succeeding. And that was one of the reasons why, he wanted to come back to college football. And I think there's a misconception about his NFL, experience. I think he could have been very successful in the NFL if he had stayed, but it's hard to argue. I think he clearly made the right decision coming back to college football, given the fact that he's going to go down as the greatest football coach ever.
Yeah, it definitely ended up working out for him in the long run. And, yeah, I do think the Miami example is a really good point that Tom brought up, just in the fact that, a lot of college coaches just don't find success in the NFL, and has nothing to do with them. It just has everything to do with the difference in management styles, and that includes everyone's management styles from the top up, from bottom up.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, before we let you go, tell everybody where they can find your book, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find it, anywhere you buy books. I mean, if you want to do, your Amazon, your Barnes & Noble, all the Books A Million, all of those will have it.
Okay.
Local bookstores are going to have it. Here, I'm based in Birmingham, and so I've been kind of directing some people to, there's an indie bookstore here called Little Professor. If you order through Little Professor in Homewood, I'll be signing a bunch of copies, and so you can get a signed copy that way. But anywhere you want to buy a book, you'll be able to get it. It comes out August 9th. Super excited about it. We're going to have some exciting stuff leading up to the published date, but just really appreciate you guys having me on. And I think your listeners are going to really enjoy this book. I think it's the best book, if I say so myself, that's to really give an inside look at who Nick Saban is and why he does the things he does. So I think people are going to enjoy it.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Thanks, John. We appreciate your time, bud.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's John Talty, Alabama Media Group, author of new book that's coming out, Leadership Secrets of Nick Saban. It's time to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
Temperatures are not the only thing starting to sizzle. Fiber fast internet from Ardmore Telephone Company is fire. Switch or upgrade to a gig for only $89.90 a month. Stream summer blockbusters. Use your Wi-Fi to monitor your smart grill. Cool off with connected smart home devices. And so much more. Call 800-830-9946 to get gig connected today. That's 800-830-9946. Introductory prices for new fiber customers only.
Real estate, real easy. That's the motto at Innovative Realty Solutions, and providing the highest quality real estate services is their mission. With sound real estate advice, the latest information, and a skilled analysis of the real estate market, Innovative Realty Solutions offers a better home buying and selling experience with a fair, ethical, and, yes, innovative process. Innovative Realty Solutions. Visit them on Facebook, online at innovativerealtysolutions.com, at 100 North Clinton Street in Athens, or call 230-5950. Innovative Realty Solutions. Real estate, real easy. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Carolyn Moos. She played college at Stanford, played the WNBA, and she won a gold medal with the Junior Olympics, dude. Todd, Carolyn, this is Tom. We also have Todd and Bama Zach, and you've been talking to Tim. You know him. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, it's great. You came from Minnesota and ended up at Stanford. There's a story there that needs to be told. Doubt. I mean, other than the fact you're 6'6", but how did you end up at Stanford?
I was actually listed at 6'5", but I will take 6'6".
Okay. Well, everybody says Wikipedia lies anyway, so we'll give you the extra. Put your heels on, you can go 6'9". You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How did you end up at Stanford?
For me, academics and athletics, the combination of both is very important to me. And if you don't have one without the other, you don't have a future. So I think a lot of people, they rely too heavily on their athletic prowess for long-term plans, when essentially you have your brain for life and you have a second career. A lot of people, especially in the WNBA or FIBA, go on to do amazing things, whether it's sports industry or elsewhere, to have a tremendous impact in the world. So I really do emphasize the importance of education. With that being said, Stanford is the ultimate package of both. just a tremendous experience. You're surrounded by incredible people with all walks of life, all vocations, all pursuits, and it's just a phenomenal, creative, very open-thinking environment where it's conducive to bringing the best out of everybody in terms of your full potential. And I think for me personally, I just felt a great fit from the moment I visited campus. I just felt like I belong here. I finally felt somewhat not normal, but surrounded by people that were really pushing you to be your best, and likewise for them as well. So it just fit. There was a natural gravitation towards that synergy.
That's great. And you also got an MA from USC. So down here, that's like getting a master's from Auburn or from Alabama and attending school at Auburn. So those are two local teams that are kind of competitors, I guess rivals, as you'd say.
Absolutely, and my mom is actually a Bruin, so she has some LA. And USC for me was a decision based on the program. So my master's is in health communication management, and I really wanted a combination of communication, health, and wellness. I knew I wanted to be on the prevention side of health for a very long time. And after I finished playing professional basketball, I didn't have to finish, honestly, at that time, but I did want to make roots in a given city. And the city at that time was Los Angeles. With that being said, when it comes to education and a master's program, ultimately you should go where has the best content and the best means for a future. I will say USC has the most phenomenal speakers. They have a tremendous business school program. It ties into their communication department. So with that being said, is just the lineup of content, speakers, influential individuals that come through USC. It made the most sense to me.
Our resident basketball expert is Todd here, and he's got his papers spread out in front of him. So if I don't shut up, he's going to hit commercials.
Not hardly.
Todd, go for it, brother.
They throw that expert word out there around way too loosely, Carolyn. I love basketball, and it's my favorite sport, and I think it's the best sport, but I'm not an expert by any means. Before we get into your basketball career, I want to talk to you about what you're doing now. So, for somebody such as myself who's had 4 back surgeries and a hip replacement and have pins and screws in my hip and some other things, and I'm old and fat.
and coming off the flu.
And coming off a heart attack and the flu. Yeah, so tell me how yoga can help me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one of my philosophies is longevity and quality of life. With that being said, I've worked with all demographics from young 5-year-old student athletes all the way up to 95 years of age plus, and everything in between. So when I think about quality of life and prevention over prescription specifically, that was the premise of my master's thesis. We want to live as long as possible to have the highest quality years for as long as possible. So with that being said, is if you have aches and pains, surgeries, everything you can do from nutrition, sleep patterns, reducing or cutting out alcohol. I personally have not drank alcohol my whole life. That was just a decision I made.
That's a good choice. Yep.
It really does. It adds up. It benefits you greatly. It's never too late to start. That's definitely a message I want to send out there. I've worked with 40, 45-year-olds that have completely changed their lifestyle choices. It does take time. Nothing happens overnight. So baby steps and then progression and sustainability. And all components, exercise, sleep patterns, nutrition, health and wellness. Now, the nice part of what I do is a portion of it can be offered online from anywhere in the world. So essentially, you can be in Japan, Australia, India, you name it, and be able to work with me with pre-recorded content for yoga, weight room workouts, nutrition log analysis, menu planning. So a lot of people don't look at the lifestyle choices that are a daily choice. With that being said, you might work out 4 or 5 days a week, but what are you doing 24/7 to take care of your body?
Yeah.
Your water consumption, your sleep pattern, your lowering of your cortisol levels, increasing your endorphins, the hormone balance. Everything you do is a choice. Every day is a choice. And everything that you do to enhance your health is a daily decision. So I empower people to make those right decisions.
That's a great point.
And I want to tell you guys, she takes this nutrition seriously because, I had to work around her food prep to get her on this show today.
Wow, we're glad we were able to do it. Yeah, but you know what? That and I'm glad you said that, Tim, because my dad has always done that for years. Like every Sunday's his day to prep and get his nutritional stuff lined up. And his son, me, did not take that. I didn't get that in my hereditary DNA there, but because I'm a very unorganized person. But you're right, Carolyn. For those, everything you do, every choice you make, small, big, whatever in between, can affect our health. And I loved when I was reading about your thesis and the whole prevention over prescriptions. I just thought that was wonderful. But going back to your basketball days. Y'all had some really good teams back then, and you were obviously a really big part of it. Did you enjoy the college game more so than the NBA game, or WNBA game rather? And I was going to say, looking at your stats, you were unreal. I mean, you should have shot the ball more, young lady.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think if you were to compare the two, physicality at the level where I played at Stanford was really up to par as far as comparisons with WNBA. We had a lot of big bodies. I came in as a freshman, and I had 5 seniors in my position that, at that time, frankly, they were probably 15, 20 pounds on me. With that being said, my body type, I'm long, I'm lean, but I'm really strong, and I'm fairly fast for my height. And as you well alluded to, versatility. The modern basketball player, despite your height or size, can do it all. Shoot threes, score jumpers, back to the basket. So I would tell upcoming players, increase your versatility. The more you can take advantage of the defender and be able to score on them in all parts of the court, the more you're going to be an asset to a team. So for me, the discrepancy between the WNBA and Stanford was not a huge jump. With that being said, as I played USA basketball in high school.
Yeah.
So I was well prepared for bigger, faster, stronger. I knew what the best in the world looked like. I knew what it felt like to play against the best players in my age group, starting in high school. So I knew from a physical standpoint, weight room, yoga, cardiovascular, nutrition, it really took over my life in the most positive way. It's what I wanted to do. People always ask me, how can you be so structured? But to me, it's desire. It's not discipline. It's what I wanted to do. It's how I wanted to spend my time. And I'm still that way to this day.
Well, so now coming out of high school, you lettered in, I don't know, how many sports? 8, 9, something like that? Was basketball? I know you played volleyball and track and all these others. Was basketball what you really wanted to do, or did that just happen to be your best sport?
Yeah. Coincidentally, coach came to me in 6th grade when I was 6 feet tall, if you can imagine, by the end of 6th grade. And I always tell children, you shouldn't do things because you think it's the right thing to do, nor should you do something to justify and give reason to your height. So you do find some student athletes where it's not in their, desire, it's not in their passion list to be a basketball player. And I think it's so essential for parents to not push things on their children when ultimately it has to be a child's choice, because if you don't have passion, you're not going to work hard. And if you don't work hard, you're never going to achieve results. So ultimately, I start with, what is your passion? You love this game. And I can still remember to this day the first time I picked up a basketball. I ran into practice. I came home that night. I looked at my parents and I said, I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
That love the game. It calls to me. It's rhythm. It's cardio. There's contact. Like, everything about it was perfect for me. And as much as I like volleyball, I actually got a little bit bored. I openly admit it because there wasn't enough running. There wasn't contact. And I just gravitated to basketball a little bit better and more. But ultimately, you have to really focus on one sport. I think a lot of children get spread too thin, academically, athletically. And by about 8th, 9th grade, I really encourage parents to ask the children what they enjoy the most and kind of simplify what that approach looks like so the child doesn't get overwhelmed and there's too much on their plate.
Well, we talk to coaches, and, I'm kind of a fan of, kids playing more than one sport. But, you can get spread too thin and trying to play everything. But, I think playing multiple sports helps. And, we were talking about upcoming players, youth, high school, whatever. And that's kind of one of the focus of our main audience, our main focus of this show. And you talked about being so tall in, 6th, 7th grade. Were you tall from the get-go?
Yeah, I had about 2 or 3 friends, female friends, that hit 5'10" in 6th grade. They stopped growing. I kept growing. I had 4 male friends that finally hit 6'4" by their senior year in high school. We all know boys grow slower later in life than girls do. So I was always at least 4 or 5 inches taller than the boys, which was interesting at middle school dances, but nevertheless, a lot of confidence. And, you know, I knew they would catch up at some point. It was just a matter of time. But I think, you know, every child has something different about them. That's another topic I like to address is whatever makes you unique, as challenging as it is in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, ultimately you're not going to want to be cookie cutter when you live the rest of your life. You know, you go into high school or college, you start to embrace those unique aspects, whether it's, you know, the color of your hair or your background or how tall you are, whatever that thing is that separates you. I think kids can become more comfortable if they realize the real value and uniqueness and embracing that journey. So for me, yes, I was tall. I was 2 inches taller than everybody my entire life, if not 4 inches. So it was, you know, you look back kindergarten through high school, I was always the, you know, tall child in photos. With a few friends that were about my height through about 7th grade.
Well, Carolyn, you said guys grow later in life. Well, I'm 5'1". I never did start growing, Carolyn. I know 10-year-olds are about as tall as me right now.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I stopped at 13 myself.
Yeah, so I couldn't imagine. You know, you said you stopped going. I was like, well, I was hoping after 6th grade I would start going, but I never did. But hey, we all got our advantages and disadvantages for that, so we just have to live with it.
And I was going to ask you too if you had faced any kind of, I don't know, maybe not bullying, but you know, and how you handled it. And I think you pretty much covered that with, you know, the attitude that you had.
Yeah.
I think to me it comes down to a few components. One is appreciation for uniqueness. Number 2 is confidence, and number 3 is purpose and reason. If you have a purpose and reason and a direction in life, you're never going to second guess why you're here. You're never going to second guess why you've been made uniquely. And I think the appreciation for that creation within yourself is very important, because the moment you feel, you know, that's not of high value, you feel like there's not a direction that you can place that towards, you feel disconnected, right? So I think ultimately it's about ownership of who you are and why you do what you do, and what that uniqueness is connects with your personal purpose.
And if someone would like to follow Carolyn Moos, you can find her on the Instagram, which I'm looking at your Instagram page right now, Carolyn. It's at Carolyn Moos, at Carolyn Moos. And
if you look up 6'5" Carolyn Moos,
that's it.
6'5". Okay. And also, before you go, you're still doing the fitforlivinglife.com, correct?
Yes, correct. Okay. My services are offered by FaceTime, Google Hangout, Skype, and pre-recorded content. So, again,
that's
you can
awesome.
be anywhere in the world and be able to work with me. It is fit4livinglife.com.
Awesome.
And follow her on the Instagram. We're on the Instagram, too, at Applebee's Tailgate Talk. So, Carolyn, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Sorry, like we said, for the technical difficulties on your end of the phone, but thanks again so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take care and good luck.
All right.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Carolyn Moos, former Stanford WNBA, played 3 different teams, so she's
fitness expert.
I
love that whole
yoga instructor, nutrition.
Oh, Carolyn Moos 6'5", so she wasn't joking.
Yeah, she wasn't.
That's how she separates her from the.
I hope I didn't offend her saying 6'6".
No, she said she'd take it.
Yeah, okay, cool. And you guys, www.fitforlivinglife.com. We got to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State Hometown Team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Welcome back to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
It's been a long time since he's been on the show, ladies and gentlemen, author of Pinstripes by the Tail, Marty Appel. Welcome back, Marty.
Good to be back. Nice to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the first book, this is a different book than what you came in for the first time.
Yeah, the first time I think it was Pinstripe Empire, which was the definitive history of the Yankees from their birth. And this one is really just anecdotes from my half century in and around the team.
Okay. Now, growing up, I admitted to you this last time, I admit it to you again, not a big Yankees fan, dude. Just not a big Yankees fan. Respect them, obviously, because tremendous organization. You know, just especially when I was growing up, I'm 57, so, you know, back in the day, y'all were just kicking everybody's tail and still are today. But I did love Thurman Munson. I loved Thurman Munson.
See? Well, I had the pleasure of working with him as Yankees PR man for most of his career. We established a friendship through being together, starting with the signing out of Kent State. And when it came time for an autobiography, I was privileged to be selected to work on it with him.
Okay. I wonder how that happened.
30, because he wasn't really interested in doing a book like that. And by the way, the book has just been reissued called Therm.
Yep.
Yeah. He wasn't really that interested. He still thought of himself as too young for an autobiography, but I explained to him that somebody's going to do one about him, which he'll hate. He won't make any money.
At least he might as well have the say and get paid, Yeah,
so with that as the logic, we did that book together.
Well, you mentioned about being the PR guy. Now, at 19, you're the mailroom guy. How does a 19-year-old mailroom guy become the youngest public relations guy in Major League Baseball, dude? That's crazy.
Well, an opening occurred while I was the fan mail clerk to be assistant to the PR director. Bill Guilfoyle had left to go to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The job was open, and Mr. Fischel offered it to me, so I became his assistant. And then after George Steinbrenner bought the team in 73, Bob left to go to the American League. The position was open, and Mr. Steinbrenner called me in and asked me if I thought I could do the job. And my answer was an honest yes, because I'd been trained by Bob Fischel, who was the best PR guy in baseball. So with a lot of confidence, I got the job, and didn't give much thought to being the youngest, but as time wore on, I realized I was, and what a unique distinction that was.
Yeah, you get in a room with a bunch of other PR guys, and you realize you're 10, 15, 20 years younger, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
It's true, really, because Mr. Steinbrenner himself didn't know the culture of the game, meant that most of the PR guys had been newspaper men covering the team for decades. So I was kind of a fresh face to that equation, and it all worked out.
Well, absolutely it did.
So, I'm sorry. Listen, I was
just going to give you an opportunity.
No, you go ahead, but if you got something ready to go. You liked Thurman Munson. My favorite, I have to say my favorite Yankee was Bucky Dent. Because especially what happened with the big home run. Bucky was not a power hitter. He hits one over the Green Monster.
Yeah.
And gets that distinct nickname that all the Boston fans began calling him.
Well, of all the unlikely heroes that fall, Bucky was certainly among that short list. And that home run lives on forever.
Yes, it does.
Sure does. Another book you've written about someone is Casey Stengel, which I can't imagine how much fun that probably was, him being the character that he was. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Well, he was voted baseball's greatest character by MLB Network when they first went on the air. And there had been Casey biographies before I did mine, but none of them had available to them the archives of all the little newspapers in all the little towns he played and managed in early in his career. So I was able to tap into those and find long-forgotten anecdotes about what a character he was. His first team was Kankakee, Illinois, and the ballpark was next to an asylum for the insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Which they called it back then.
Yes.
And the players used to say, well, next year all of us are moving up to AA. But he, pointing to Casey, he's going there, pointing to the asylum.
Oh, man. Well, I bet that was a fun book to research and do all the history on and then write. You've got 4 books in publication, is that right?
Right.
Do you have
25 actually?
25, okay. Do you have a particular one that you like more than the others?
Well, my special favorite will always be Pinstripe Empire because that's the history of the team.
Yeah.
It hadn't been done since the 1940s when Frank Graham wrote it. And I felt I was really contributing something to American culture. Baseball being an important part of the culture, and
you got to live.
No narrative. Yeah, and I was there for a good portion of it, and through Old Timers Days and other associations, I got to know a lot of the people who formed part of it. One of the early interviews that I did was with the guy who managed the team in 1914. So that was really reaching back for a connection.
Yeah.
Were you around when I think this was done in? I think it was done in Royal Stadium. The epic Billy Martin, George Brett, Pine Tar on the Bat episode.
I was around, and it was Yankee Stadium.
It was Yankee Stadium. So were you there when that happened?
I was there.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, that's awesome.
Just anything you can tell about that. That was...
It was so crazy.
It was awesome. Brett lost his rabid mind.
Well, I've still never seen anybody get as worked up as George Brett as he did that day.
Yeah.
So I think he really believed he was cheated. He wasn't putting that on. But they did the Lee McPhail, the American League president, ruled that the game had to resume from the point at which it stopped. Brett was already ejected from the game, so he wasn't even there. He waited at the airport with some teammates who were also ejected. And they finished the last 4 outs of the game in front of 10,000 fans at Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
And we all got a can of Pine Tar and a T-shirt that said, I was there for the Pine Tar game.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That had to be quite the experience without a
Great
doubt.
days. I mean,
I thought Brett was going to have an aneurysm.
He was livid.
Yeah, I really have never seen it since or before. That was the maddest I ever saw any player on the field.
Sticking out his neck, man.
I think the biggest thing that made him so angry is that Billy Martin got something over on him because he didn't just say, "Oh, I think we'll go check that bat." He'd been watching George Brett pop that pine tar on that bat higher and higher for a long time.
You're probably right about all of that. Yes.
Well, now let's get to Pinstripes by the tail.
Yes, let's get to that.
Are there some? You said it's a collection of anecdotes. Are there some you can pass along to us?
Oh, yeah, and one that sort of exemplifies the sort of anecdote, because this isn't deep into team history. This is just sort of discovering the players anecdotally. So one story that I like to tell is one day I was walking with Whitey Ford on Fifth Avenue in midday on a beautiful day in Manhattan. So you can imagine how many thousands of people we passed while we were walking those 8 blocks. And finally, near the end, I turned to him and I said, "Nobody has recognized you or even indicated that they think you look familiar. What's up with that?" And he turned to me and he said, "Well, if I was walking with Mickey Mantle, we'd have a police escort, but I'm walking with you."
Zing, man.
So that tells you all you need to know about Whitey being a slick New Yorker and the type of anecdote that's in the book.
Oh, my goodness.
That is great.
How many such anecdotes do you have up in there? I mean, is it one a thick book, real heavy, or imagine?
No, it's about 300 pages, so
Okay.
there's about 175 anecdotes. When I was a kid, I used to love reading books with short tales, lots of white space, lots of pictures.
Yes.
So I set out to do just that, and that's the formula that I stuck with. I wrote the whole book in 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
No phone calls, no research, just tapping into my memory, one story after another.
Wow.
That's great.
That is awesome, man. To be able, and to have for you to be able to experience and have all those memories, you know, and then I'm sure it was cool for you to go back and reflect on them, and then you probably thought of stuff maybe you hadn't thought about in years. You know, you remembered one thing and went, "Oh man, I forgot about that or this," you know. So that's really cool.
Well, I told my editor right at the beginning, I said, "Look, you're going to tell me that they need to be better connected. There needs to be sort of a thread that carries one story to the next. And I'm telling you, no, picture 5 guys sitting around a table at Applebee's sharing stories. Nobody cares if they connect." So that's what this is.
It's the story that counts.
That's right. That's awesome.
Now,
and that's a perfect read, right? You know, no, everything doesn't have to connect. It's just, it doesn't.
We prove that every week.
Every week.
We're
sitting around a table at Applebee's.
Yeah, 4 or 5 of us
going in the ditch every now and then.
You do a good job with it.
Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Todd mentioned a while ago not particularly being a Yankees fan, and I thought the Yankees and Alabama are kind of the same.
They are.
They're
dynasties.
I guess you either love them or hate them, but
nothing in between.
They're doing something right. So
I'm going to take your word for that. To be honest with you, and this wouldn't surprise you, listeners, I don't think, but in New York and in the Northeast, we have such a paucity of college football. It's just not a big sport here.
Right.
Yeah,
so when I watch Bama on TV or other SEC games, I'm like amazed at the loyalty of the fans and the magnitude of the crowds. Because in New York City, the closest big-time college football we have is Syracuse, which is a long way off.
Yeah.
Or maybe Rutgers or Boston College. Nothing in New York City at all. So it's a weird experience to watch it from New York.
Yeah, and we're the same where we're located. I mean, the closest professional baseball team's Atlanta, and in
St.
NFL,
Louis.
in St. Louis, and NFL's Tennessee, Nashville. So, and then for years we didn't even have that.
Exactly.
So, we're that's why in the South, the college is more embedded in us than I think pro sports. We support the pro sports, obviously, but not to the levels we do college. No.
And I should add that before Major League Baseball really hit its stride with the arrival of Babe Ruth in the 20s, college football was the number one sport in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's what it took. It took several decades for baseball, with Babe Ruth, to finally surpass college football in national interest.
Well, and speaking of that, where do you think the game of baseball is today? I mean, like I said, I'm 57, and unfortunately to me, it's not as important to me as it was when I was 7, 17, even 27 or 37. I don't know. As I've gotten older, I don't know. The games have gotten longer. The teams with free agency and all, like when we were growing up, man, you knew every player, every position. You even knew the backups because the team stuck around together for so long.
Exactly. The Yankees kept their guys.
Right. You knew everybody from every team.
The Reds kept their guys for years. The Big Red Machine, I remember that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go ahead, Todd.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, what do you think the state of the game is? I mean, it's still healthy, obviously.
I think it's on the upswing. Everything you say is correct. Except for the length of games, which are shortened by a half hour this year, which everybody seems to love.
And I do like those new rules. I didn't think I would, but yes, I do.
Yeah, me too. The rise of the National Football League and the NBA, particularly these last few decades, back to the 60s kind of, have sort of clouded baseball's presence on the map. But young fans who are just discovering the game realize why it's been going strong for over a century.
Yeah.
And I think these shorter games, kids being able to go to sleep at 9:30, they're going to help a lot.
Heck, me too.
Well, Marty, let us know where we can find your book.
The book is Pinstripes by the Tail. It's available on Amazon and bookstores. Support your independent bookstore, I like to say.
Yep.
And it debuted May 2nd at number 5 on the Amazon bestseller list.
Sweet.
So partly that's just national interest in the Yankees. Partly because it got some nice reviews, and I'm happy it's well received.
Oh, great. And don't forget to have your webmaster check your website.
Yes.
On that, so people can actually
go
to your
that.
website.
Thank you for alerting me.
Yeah.
Thanks for alerting me.
All right, Marty. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it, and let's do it again sometime.
Okay, great to talk to you.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Take care. That was the special guest segment sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Appel, Pinstripes by the Tail. Probably, we say, 150 stories of him with Yankee players.
I mean, with all his experience,
oh,
I'm
my
sure
goodness
it's awesome.
gracious. I guarantee it's got to be. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. When you're looking for something special for your next event, why not bring in the most amazingly fine flavored shaved ice this side of the islands, Kona Ice of Decatur in Athens. Whether it's a school or major sporting event, a picnic, or a festival, Kona Ice brings the fun and laughter. From their steel drum music to their signature flavor wave, where guests can flavor their own shaved ice. No event is too big or too small. Kona Ice makes fundraising easy too. Call Kona Ice today and tell them what you have in mind. 256-566-5298. Or look for them on your favorite social media platform. Kona Ice of Decatur in Athens. 256-566-5298.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
With all the technology around us today, it's hard to keep up. Goldsmith Technical Services specializes in residential and commercial computer and electronics repair, automation, IT services, and home theater systems and audiovisual services. Goldsmith Technical Services. Call or text 256-203-4226. Visit them on Facebook or online at goldsmithtechnical.com. Let them tailor a package that meets your needs. Goldsmith Technical Services, 256-203-4226. Spick and Span Power Washing. Patios, sidewalks, driveways, houses, roofs, gutters, and windows. Commercial or residential. Serving Athens, Fayetteville, Harvest, Huntsville, Grant, and Coleman. Visit their Facebook page and see what they can do for you. Get your free estimate. Call 256-795-0505. Spick and Span Power Washing.
Bring the man in motion across the line of scrimmage. They give it to him on the sweep play. He's outside, got a little bit of room now. Down the sideline, cuts it back. He's angling for the end zone, and he will score. Wow. Touchdown.
Join us this football season for Limestone County football, streamed right to your computer or mobile device on the Play Action Sports app. You can also hear it on your Amazon Echo by saying, Alexa, open Play Action Sports. Listen for the replay of select games Sunday afternoons on WKAC and download each game from the archives anytime you want. Limestone County football from Play Action Sports and 1080 WKAC. You've been listening to the best of Tailgate Talk. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.